Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So it does seem that something interesting is in the works regarding Model Concept Champions, and all this public outrage that has happened seemingly has made an impact. Now apparently there was some sort of big presentation for CCP members last night at like 1 AM UK time, technically today, and basically most of the CCP members have taken to the Twitter saying that they're exciting, that there was a presentation. They're not at liberty to discuss the exact points that they went over in the presentation with, neither when the big announcement's gonna come, but effectively there is a big announcement coming to Model Concept Champions, and that is allegedly gonna address a lot of issues and feedback that we have been giving to them. Now there is obviously still a huge part of I'll believe it when I see it and I'll judge it for myself when it actually comes out. For instance, every single member of CCP was super hyped for Incursions, that it's amazing, that it's interesting, that it's awesome, but in reality I think a couple weeks later, once the hype has died down, there's a large portion of people who either do not bother with Incursions at all, or at best stumble in Incursions like twice a month to get the top zone bonuses and then just kind of like ignore it for the rest of the time. So Kabam stating that Incursions was their most ambitious project that they devoted 8 to 10 months to, and hyping it all up by trying to get all of the CCP members to flown in before this corona thing started and actually play and promote the Incursions, and where they did those series of streams. What is the end result? Like, obviously you guys have your own opinion about Incursions, but for me it's still the same dungeons, as in a sense, like, yeah, it is a bit more fun, it is a bit more interesting when you actually play through it, but at the same time it's not that great of an improvement, and rewards just don't really warrant me spending much time on it. And I think for many people, again, Incursions is just something that's neat. It's okay, nice, but if you're gonna say that something was worked on for 8 to 10 months and as if this was some sort of massive achievement, no, I think it's overall could be considered a fail for how little impact it actually made on a game. For a massive project like Incursions, no, I don't think it's a success. But again, people hyped up Incursions as like this new big game mode, which I don't think it is currently. If you disagree, that's perfectly fine. You don't need to turn into your keyboard warrior mode. But let's jump to the big Twitter. And basically, most of the content creator program members that I do follow personally have tweeted out some version of this, but I'm gonna look at MCOC Concierge's post because he kind of like dropped the biggest wall of text, I guess. So basically, Kabam gave a big presentation last night on some of the upcoming stuff. The whole thing was just really cool. More openness, information is always the right move. There has been a pretty steady march in the right direction for a long time, and I'm glad it's continuing. Now, the whole openness statement, I'm gonna put it in a pocket and save for later, because I disagree that there has been a huge improvement on openness, but okay. So we can just kind of like deposit for later, but the whole thing was just really cool, and many people are impressed by it, and there's like Katie Candy tweeting like, oh my god, so excited, and so are most of the content creators. So definitely this presentation grabbed their attention, and definitely there's quite a big announcement coming. The things covered all seem pretty top-notch, to be honest, so there are multiple different things coming to the contest. That is also good to know. It created a lot of excitement in everyone, including those of us that are more likely to question, play devil's advocate. And that is, again, something that brings cautious optimism, because once again, when it comes to relying on information that's given by CCP members, I'm not trying to be a jerk to anybody, but there are certain CCP members where every new champion is a god tier champion, and there are members who are excited about everything and anything, or they act to be. Now, I will obviously have a cautious bit of optimism, hoping that there is in fact something really cool coming, but at the same time I'm not gonna kind of like get overhyped and gonna hope that salvation is upon us and we're all gonna be magically heard and all of the things that we had problems with will be sorted. Hopefully something actually worthwhile comes of it, and it's not just like a minor kind of like bone thrown to the player base, but actually something that covers deep down issues, such as with champion acquisition, such as with champions that are absolutely worthless, such as with content that seems cash grabby, such as with bigger issues in the game currently, I would say. But whatever it is, the fact that it does get people excited is at least positive news, because at the worst case, it's gonna sort some problems out, if not the main ones, if not the biggest ones. 3, as with anything, it's careful excitement, I guess that's the right term. Really just want to see the covered topics implemented to see what happens. There's big upside on all of it, but it's gonna be done right. So that is, again, another thing that we need to be cautiously optimistic for. The fact that whatever they are implementing with has to be done right, first and foremost means that it is something meaningful, it's something significant, because if they mess up some bigger kind of like base modes in the game, that will have like very big repercussions. So changes coming to a contest is always, is a good thing. Change is a good thing in a mobile game that is as old as this one, so it doesn't feel stagnant. But not every change is like for the better, and sometimes the long-term effects we see take quite a bit of while to actually notice. For instance, the featured 5-star crystal change. Nobody liked it at first, but people kind of accepted it. Now when we are forced to have featured 6-star crystals the same way as we are having the featured 5-star crystals, we can certainly notice that featured crystals are a much bigger gamble and much less reliable, and it's pretty much impossible to target one featured champion anymore, and that effectively has resulted in just much shittier 6-star rosters comparatively to what we used to have as our 5-star rosters. Because I remember when people had, I don't know, 25 stars, just the sheer ability to target a featured 5-star crystal pretty much kind of made sure that out of those 25 stars you can have at least a couple good ones. Now you don't have that with 6 stars anymore, and that is a major issue in today's metagame. And again, depending how they implement these changes, we need to be cautious whether it is cosmetically nice but can have long-term implications that might not necessarily be great for the game, or it will all be amazing, right? So it just kind of remains to be seen. So there he makes a couple more points, but basically the last bit is that they ask for a date for this announcement. They have the date, but I don't believe we're at liberty to say so. We do not know exactly when this announcement's coming. If I would have to kind of like take my guess, I would say it's going to be either Friday or Monday, because people are impatient, because people have been nagging Kabam and kind of like trying to force their hand. They said kind of like Friday would be the earliest date, but I think probably Monday is more realistic time for like a big announcement, because then if something gets announced, there isn't a weekend in between, and if people have questions, if people have feedback, if people have concerns, then through Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, so on and so forth, there will actually be, forum moderators moderating the forums actively, people in the offices that are able to give the answers. But all in all, seemingly, our feedback apparently has been heard. Again, I still stand on the whole idea of I'll believe it when I see it, but it is definitely overall relatively encouraging sign that a lot of content creator program members are excited. I do not necessarily take that as some sort of ultimate indicator that the announcement is going to be amazing, or it's going to have actual massive shift to the Marvel Concept Champions and some sort of major improvement, and that everybody's going to be happy with it. But it does bring some hopeful signs. So all in all, I think it is quite well done by Marvel Concept Champions, because they had been obviously boiling this rage in the bottom of players' kind of like stomachs for a while, and then once it all kind of like exploded, I think that overall they have been doing relatively decent to reply. There hasn't been a lot of kind of snarky comments. Now obviously there are issues with Kabam forums, and I know about dozens of threads that got deleted. I know about dozens of people who got banned for posting genuinely legitimate questions and concerns and so on and so forth. But I guess if you are I don't know, power hungry dominatrix type of forum, then you can't quit all your habits over a day, because that is certainly one of the bigger problems with Kabam forums, that you can seemingly get banned for just not being okay with everything that people say, or I don't know. That's why I personally don't go on Kabam forums much. I do read in it, but I don't bother my time posting upon it and stuff like that, because a lot of it can just disappear along with your profile. But CCP members are happy, so I am semi-hyped as well. Like, as I said before, I am kind of like trying to tone down my excitement, I guess, or expectations, because if I don't expect too much of them, I'm not going to be overly disappointed either. All in all, I must say though that I have been not really wanting to switch on game much during these times. That's why there is a lack of videos as well on the channel, because yeah, that much negativity can get to anybody, and all of that's happening up until there is something to be excited about. I'm kind of like taking it slow with the game for now. But all that being said, I think we're done here for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. If you did, then here is a baby Yoda for you. Look at that, he's spitting out a frog. Such a cutie. At the same time, if you didn't like today's video, well, then you can show yourselves out. Why not? All in all, I'm done for today. Hit that like button, hit that sub button, let your friends know salvation is upon us. Big announcement is coming. See ya.